speech of the outgoing patron of NOSA at the 2022 homecoming and 110 years celebrations for Nabumali High School. But the important thing here is the unstoppable rise of NOSA, or rise and role of NOSA in the reincarnation of Nabumali High School. Please note those words. The unstoppable what? Rise and roll. Let me go to the protocol side. Our chief guest, Lord Justice Oyedolo, who is in his own capacity and right an old student, Lady Justice Catherine Amugemerire, also, and her own right, an OG of Nabumali. Me, I am a patron. I don't go to those things. I will begin causing trouble. My wife is from Agri, but I carried her. I told her, you walk, since you are a crazy agrarian, but I came with her. The representatives of the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology and Sports, Chairman, Board of Governors, members of the Board of Governors, members of the Board of Trustees of NOSA, distinguished NOSA President and your executive, the Chairman PTA and your members present, the head teacher, Nabumali High School, members of the teaching staff, members of non-teaching staff, students of Nabumali High School, ladies and gentlemen, all other protocols observed. It's with great pleasure that I welcome you all to this, my old school, as we celebrate 110 years of existence. In this respect, I extend my gratitude to those who founded this great institution and those whose efforts have led to its survival and revival. I want to add here that I'm one of the few Nabumali 311. I went to Nabumali Primary School, I went to Nabumali Junior Secondary School, and I came to Nabumali High School. So, I know this triangle very well. There are a few here who are like me. I think the one I know for sure is my seniorest, and the one who spoke to you at 94 years of age, and she spoke like somebody who is 50. My song, Wanyala Huba pioneer, and still very sharp. Because many people, even of my age, we are already losing memory. But I'm amazed at what God has given you. I want to talk about several things, but first I want to say, who are the stakeholders of Nabumali High School? This is my opinion. You may differ from me. So I say, before I share any information with you, let me discuss with you what makes Nabumali what it is. Nabumali High School has two types of stakeholders, namely permanent stakeholders and the transit stakeholders. And I'm going to explain or give examples. Among the permanent stakeholders, we have one, the foundation body, who are the owners of the school. Two, the government of Uganda. Three, the old students of the school who form NOSA membership. You can be an old student, but if you are not part of NOSA, you are not a permanent stakeholder. You are part of the transit. The transit stakeholders include current students. They come and go. Once they become members of NOSA after they have left, they cross from being transit to permanent. These teachers come, they are posted, they work. They will go from Nabumali to Mbale to Bubulo, anywhere. So they are transit. Administrators, transit. Support staff, transit. Parents of the current students, transit. When their kids finish with their money, they have nothing to do with us. With the above information, let me share with you a little story. A man and his wife put up a marvelous hotel, and he started doing wonderful business. It was the talk of the city where they built it. The couple also produced and raised very successful children whom they assumed would ensure the continuity of the hotel business. Unfortunately, or fortunately, the children grew up, got educated, and left to do their own successful businesses. Later, as the couple aged, the old man and his wife appointed managers to run the hotel business. All went well until the old man and his wife passed on. The managers continued to run the business, but the services deteriorated and it reached the level where customers started abandoning the hotel. The children who were not very near got news of the poor state of the empire their parents had built. They decided to come back and revive the business. As expected, they found the hotel in shambles. Business was poor, the hotel was highly indebted, the infrastructure was dilapidated, number of customers greatly reduced, and the discipline of the workers was wanting. The children decided it was time to rehabilitate their parents' business and bring it back to its past glory and strive to make it even better. The managers did not like the arrival of the new masters, but the change was inevitable. What the managers forgot is that their interest in the hotel was transit, while the children had a permanent interest. So what happened? How does this relate to Nabumali? How does it? Because me, when I was here, this was Nabumali Bulaya. I never carried a mattress. I never carried a blanket. I only carried the bed sheets and a fork, knife, and spoon. Now, things changed. So, when things went very low, in 1985, the children returned. If you recall, some of you. At that time, we were going to celebrate 75 years of Nabumali, although we did it in 2 years later. I was approached, and I approached all the students of Nabumali, decided to make it a memorable occasion. A committee was formed for this purpose, and the preparatory meetings were held in Kampala. In 1985, I was privileged to work with the notable sons and daughters of this school, many of whom, unfortunately, are no longer with us. May their souls rest in eternal peace. Let us have a moment of silence in their memory. Why? Because we are talking about NOSA today. NOSA was revived. The roots of NOSA revival were actually in 1985 meeting, which took place at Shimoni Primary School. Moment of silence. May their souls rest in peace. So, we are able to celebrate 75 years in 1987. The rebirth of NOSA. 1985 marked the beginning of the full return of one of the permanent stakeholders of Nabumali High School. 20 years later, in 2005, NOSA was reborn, and I was tasked with the unenviable task of steering the new association to become a significant player in planning and managing the rehabilitation of the school. Yes, by the time of our centenary celebrations, we were fully constituted, and the centenary celebrations were a great success. We have held regular elections to choose our leaders in accordance with our new constitution, and embarked on serious rehabilitation of both infrastructure and academic standards of the school. Today marks another landmark in the term of the Board of Trustees that I have been leading, that it comes to an end today. And we shall display our democratic credentials by ushering in a new Board of Trustees. There are no amendments in that direction. The summary, now here I just want to remind you that when the children came back, in this short period, when the children of the late, their parents came back, they have done a lot. They have done a lot. Out of their voluntary contributions, the students started, one of the earliest things here was construction of VIP toilets. You remember if you visited Nabumali that time, the stench would just throw you out. Now you can walk peacefully through the school. We replaced the tables and benches in the dining hall. We supplied special plates for the dining. We did the rehabilitation of the dining hall. It's continuing, but looks smart. We did, we are rehabilitating the sick bay, the boys' dormitories, partly in progress. The girls' dormitories, tiling over the chapel, re-roofing over the chapel, which is about to be completed, replacement of broken glasses in the pens and so on. I'll share this in soft form because so far I think I've got 27 projects here which I can remember, but I cannot end without mentioning these other ones. We supplied iPads through our connections to the school, library reference books, solar reading lights for the library, construction of a new gate, which you see here, the swimming pool, the labs, computer labs, and of course, the beauty you see here is that NOSA worked and collaborated with UNRWA to re-tarmac the roads. We got the road from Nabumali to Nyondo tarmac, contrary to what politicians were trying to say that it was a political bargain. No, there was no politics. I must thank the retired bishop, Idudu Patrick, with whom NOSA worked to write to the Ministry of Works, which letter I took personally, and unfortunately for me, I found my former student as the boss, and things moved very quickly, and we got that road. So no politician should tell you a lie that they did this road. They didn't. Then that road also gave us the Wasisi, which is the extension of the tarmac, which includes the famous London Street, which people remember. Now, as part of the permanent stakeholders, we have, of course, faced a lot of resistance. But I want. So me as an outgoing patron, I'm saying, I'm warning detractors. Despite all these efforts, there are those who have been used to see Nabumali as a looting ground, where they come spend funds meant for running the school with reckless abandon. Transit stakeholders whose aim is to destroy Nabumali should know and stand warned that permanent stakeholders will not allow this to happen again. It will not. Even when I'm not a patron, I'm still a member of NOSA. I'll come and cause hell for you if you are destroying this what? School. Be warned. Recently we had a very embarrassing situation. I don't want to talk about it, although it is written here, something which almost destroyed our record of being so neat and clean in terms of exams. A few people had it, but it reached a level where somebody who has studied